Hey, what's up guys? Frank here with another video, and today I wanted to make a video to talk about the best print-on-demand website that actually make me money, okay? And so I made the list that you can find on my website, and basically I'm going to talk only about website that I actually use or that actually make me money, okay? And so obviously there are more websites and there are more marketplaces, but I'm not going to talk about them because I want to talk about things that actually make me money, okay? And so let's go right in. And so the first print on demand website, and it is absolutely the most important, okay? It is Amazon Merch, okay? If you're not on Amazon Merch, you should absolutely be on Amazon Merch, and you can create an account, and it is by far the best print on demand website that you can be on, okay? And the reason is that every listing that you're creating goes on Amazon in all marketplaces around the world, okay? And so this is really good. And the reason it is actually the best print on demand website is because Amazon Merch is my main source of revenue, okay? And so all the money that I make on Amazon Merch, I actually make more money on Amazon Merch than all the other website combined, okay? And so that's why Amazon Merch is really, really important, okay? This is where the money is, and this is where you should be too, okay? But there is something that you have to keep in mind if you're on Amazon Merch, and it is that Amazon Merch is very strict with their guidelines and their trademarks and copyright. And so if you're going to be on Amazon Merch, you have to make sure that you actually follow their rules, because if you don't follow their rules, then they're going to suspend your account, and this is not good, okay? You don't want this to happen. And so Amazon Merch is very, very strict, okay? Just keep that in mind. And so the second website that I wanted to talk about is Redbubble, okay? And Redbubble is a very good website that you should be on. And basically, everything that you upload on Amazon Merch, Amazon Merch is the first priority, but all the other ones are kind of secondary, if that makes sense. But Redbubble is a very good website, and I would highly recommend it, okay? So I've made a bunch of money on Redbubble. And so unfortunately, I lost my previous account that had thousands of designs, but I was able to create a new one, and so this is pretty good, okay? And so the third website that I want to talk about is TeePublic. And if you didn't know, TeePublic is actually owned by Redbubble, and so this is basically the same company, like if you're going to the big details or whatever. But TeePublic is a really good website, and I try as much as possible to upload on these platforms. I try to upload all these design on these platforms. And just like Redbubble, I also lost my previous account, and I was also able to create a new one. So this is really, really good. And so I highly recommend TeePublic. And the next two marketplaces that you can be on is Spreadshirt. And Spreadshirt is a little bit confusing because in actuality, there are two marketplaces for Spreadshirt, okay? So there's the Spreadshirt.com, which is basically for uh, United States, Canada, and Australia, okay? And there's also Spreadshirt for the European market, and so it is Spreadshirt.uk. But since this is two different marketplaces, you should make sure that you upload on these two marketplaces, okay? And from my own experience, I have way more success with Spreadshirt with the European market than the .com market, okay? And so I've never had any problem with them, and it's been a stream of passive income for years now, and so I highly recommend it, okay? And so the next marketplace that I want to talk about is Zazzle, and Zazzle is a really good marketplace, and I've made money from Zazzle. The only thing with Zazzle is that they used to allow automatic uploads using automation tools, but now they actually enforce their CAPTCHA or their Google CAPTCHA that actually verify that you're not a robot. And so right now, I don't know any solution that is able to bypass Zazzle CAPTCHA, okay? And so that's just something to keep in mind. And just like Redbubble and TeePublic, I also lost my previous account with Zazzle, but I was able to create a new one, and so I'm now back on Zazzle, okay? So this is a really good website, and I highly recommend it. The next marketplace that I wanted to talk about is Displate. And Displate, they don't do clothing just like the other ones. And Displate basically specialize for posters, okay? And so since they're a poster, they use a different design dimension that you have to keep in mind. But Displate have been really good for me, and I've never had any problem with Displate, and so I recommend it. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is Etsy. Okay, and Etsy is an online marketplace, and you actually have to create your own listing, and you need to have a print-on-demand service to work with them, unless you decide to actually create your own merch. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about them just later on. But the only thing with Etsy is that it is a little bit more complicated than the other marketplaces, because you actually have to use a print on demand service to work with them, okay? And so that's something to keep in mind. And also you have to be careful with the fees. And so Etsy, every listing that you create as a listing fee, and every sale that you make also have some fees. And so if you're going to go on Etsy, you have to keep those in mind, because you have to make sure that you actually make profits from sales and from Etsy, okay? So this is very important. And another marketplaces that I want to talk about is Amazon, but instead of using Amazon Merch, which specialize for print on demand, well, there's the Amazon Seller Central. And basically the Seller Central allows you to basically like sell anything that you want on Amazon, okay? And so if you have some inventory, you could use the FBA Seller Central. But which can do also, you can also use a print-on-demand service, just like on Etsy. And so you also have to keep track of all the fees. And also Amazon Seller Central, if you're going professional, there's some fees that you have to keep in mind. There's also a subscription. I think it's $40 per month. But the thing is that with Amazon Seller Central, it is very, very, very complex. And so this is not for beginners. I would not recommend Amazon Seller Central for beginners. But if you're serious about Amazon, and if you're serious about print on demand, that could be a great option for you, okay? And so the next thing that I want to talk about is Printful. Okay, and just like I said before with Etsy and Amazon Seller Central, you need the print-on-demand service to work with these platforms. And so personally, I use Printful as a main print-on-demand service, and so I use Printful, and I connect Printful with Etsy, and I connect Printful with Amazon Seller Central, and so I'm able to create listing in Printful and upload everything on these marketplaces, okay? It is a little bit more complicated, but if you're more advanced into the print on demand business, then that's something that you might think of, okay? And so the next thing that I wanted to talk about is Custom Cat. And Custom Cat, I use Custom Cat as a secondary print on demand service, okay? And so the difference between Printful and Custom Cat is that Printful, you're able to connect your store to Etsy, and you're able to connect your store to Amazon Seller Central. But I use Custom Cat as a backup, okay? And so if I have any problem with Printful, then I use Custom Cat as a backup service, okay? And so it is not connected to anything, but when I use Custom Cat, I create a manual order, and this is basically for emergencies, okay? If possible, I try to prioritize Printful, but if Printful is not working, and if the order takes too long, or if there's a problem with my Printful orders, then I fall back on Custom Cat. okay? And so I fill the orders manually instead of automatically, okay? And so that's something that you can do. The next marketplace that I want to talk about is Society6. And Society6 is a good print-on-demand website. The only thing is that if you don't use upload automation, I would not recommend it, because the upload interface on Society6 is really painful, and even if you're using upload automation, it takes very long, okay? And we're talking about 20 to 30 minutes per design, because they're doing every product manually, and so it takes a really long time. And also another thing to keep in mind with Society6 is that recently they added a new subscription model, and in order to sell on Society6, you have to have some sort of subscription, monthly subscription, I think. But I've speaking for myself, I made some sales on Society6, but I stopped using Society6 because it's not, for me, it's not worth it. Like it takes too much time, and the fact that it requires a subscription, I just don't like it, okay? But I've made sales on Society6, so if you're into it, you can look at it. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is Amazon KDP, okay? And so if you're a designer and if you're creating designs, then what you can do is that you can use Amazon KDP to sell books. And so what I used to do before actually losing my account, because I lost my account with KDP, what I used to do is use my designs and put them on journals and low content books, okay? And so that's something that you can do. The only thing is that you have to make sure that you have some sort of pages inside the book, and so it's a little bit different. You have to think in terms of books instead of designs, so you have to have all the right things to create the books, okay? So I used to make sales on Amazon KDP, but I got my account suspended because of trademarks and copyright, so I'm no longer able to do it. And the next website that I wanted to talk about is Designed by Human. And just like the other marketplaces, Designed by Human is also another print-on-demand marketplace that you can upload on. The only thing is that it's not very popular, and I don't know any upload tools that upload on Designed by Humans. And to be honest, I don't think it's very good. The only thing is that when I started Print on Demand, I tried this website and I uploaded a few designs. I think I have maybe like 50 designs, and every month I get some money from Designed by Human. And so I think these sales come from one or two designs or whatever, and so I'm not really using it. It is still making money and I still get money from them, but I'm not actively using them. And the upload interface is really terrible and time consuming, and since there are not many people on Designed by Human, then I just don't bother with it, but I still collect some money out of them, okay? And the last website that I wanted to talk about is Find Out America. And Find Out America is another marketplace that mostly focus on photographs, I think. It's not really website, but they mostly focus on artwork and photographs. And so yes, you can still sell some designs, but it's not optimized for design. And it also requires an annual subscription. So because of that, I try to avoid marketplaces that requires an annual subscription. I think it's like $30 per year or something like that. But I also got my account terminated because of trademarks and copyrights, and so because of that, I stopped using it. But I actually made money out of this website, okay? And so all of these websites that I talked about in this video, and all the websites that you can find in this list on my website, are actually websites that I actually use and that actually made me money, okay? And so I don't want to talk about websites that don't really make me money. I want to talk about websites that actually make money, and so that you can make money too, okay? And so those are my experience with these websites. And so I hope that this video was helpful to you, and let me know if you have any question, okay? Peace.